Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up with you guys? YouTube, Fabio coming back with another live video. Uh, I just wanted to hop on real quick, guys. I won't take a whole hell of a lot of your time. Uh, I don't know why it looks kind of blurry. I feel like I look. Let's see. Let's see. I feel like I look blurry. There we go. Okay. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna be real quick with this video. What I want to talk about in this video is selling versus branding. Selling versus branding. I want to give my intake on this over maybe about the last month. I've been receiving some emails, and I decided I told myself that I wasn't gonna do a video about the Grant Cardone um, Wolf of Wall Street situation. I told myself I wasn't going to do a video about that. And number one, it's a lot of perspectives on that, a lot of reaction videos on that. So that's why I didn't put their name in the title, because I think what it comes down to is just selling versus branding. And I agree with both those guys' perspectives. So I don't necessarily take a side in it. I understand from both sides, what they mean. But here's just my take. In right now, I'm gonna have to leave shortly. I'm out. I'm in one of my coaching students area. We got a few days of training this week, hands-on. So they booked me to come out to their city. So I'm out here in their city, in my hotel. We're gonna do lunch today, discuss some things, and then the next few days I'll be out here helping them try to get their deals. That's a part of the coaching. As long as it's set up for anybody that want that, I'm willing to do that, and no additional expense to you guys. So that's what's going on with me today. Okay, so selling versus branding. Um, in the very beginning, when you first start your business, right? And this is why I tell people to be visible, to run your business like a presidential campaign, do everything, don't cut yourself short. In the very beginning, you have to sell yourself, right? Like to your employees, to your contractors, to your potential clients, whatever it is, you have to sell yourself. You have to put yourself out there to be heard. And when you don't have a good track record, when you don't have this brand working for you, it becomes very difficult, right? See, and that's what I learned early on. See, I have well, I'm not going to say a lot, like I have a whole lot of businesses, but I have several different businesses outside of the commercial cleaning business, right? But whatever you know me by is what you know me by, right? So you guys that's watching me, you might know me for commercial cleaning, but then I do public speaking, I do freelance modeling, right? I used to have the Direct Auto Network that I did. I used to do the $5 ride, right? So I had all these different ventures. So there's certain people, if you go on, let's say my Facebook page, people that only knows me for the $5 ride, right? They know me for the $5 ride, right? So that's the brand that's instilled in them. That's what they know me for. But here's the thing. When you brand yourself or you brand your company, it's much easier for you in the marketplace. That's just my personal opinion. Some might disagree, but that's my personal opinion. When you have a solidified brand, you have a brand, or you're an entity, right? Whether you're a Fabio Hart or whether you're a Nike, right? That's an entity. Okay, so it resonate with you. Whatever they put out, whatever shoe that they put out. I mean, some people say, I'll never wear Adidas. I'm always going to wear Nike, right? Because that brand is solidified within them, right? They trust that brand. So Nike don't necessarily have to run, although they do. They don't necessarily have to run these massive campaigns. They don't have to run these massive marketing campaigns and try to sell you into the Nike brand. You already know that you like Nike, right? So, like I say, I understand the Jordan Belfort side of it, right? The straight line system. I actually follow that system. I think the course is fantastic. It's a bit expensive, so I don't kind of try to push you guys towards to get it because most people won't be able to get it. I mean, it might take some time you get it, but most people won't be able to get it. But if you can get the course, it's a fantastic course, right? It's an absolute fantastic course. I revisit the course. Hey, what's up, Leonard? I revisit the course all the time, right? I revisit the course all the time. But excuse me, guys, like I say, when you build the brand, when you build the brand, it's much easier for you in the marketplace. When you first start your commercial cleaning business, your lawn care service, whatever the case is, you have to get the word out, right? You have to steady be selling yourself, selling yourself. Now, while as a brand, you're going to continue to sell yourself. I mean, you're going to sell yourself in every way imaginable for the rest of your life. You're going to have to sell the good product, service, sell yourself to get in a relationship. You're always going to have to sell your or persuade or sell your side of things, right? So that's never going to end as long as you take in air and you breathe it out, right? And taking oxygen, breathe it out, right? That's never going to change. You're always going to have to be selling. But when people know who you are, it makes it that much better. It makes it that much better, guys. So when you ask me, Fabio, what do what would you say is more important, selling or branding? I would probably say branding. I would probably say branding because branding allows you a different position in the marketplace than other people, right? I like to use this all the time on my coaching calls. I'm gonna use it right here. Uh, what separates the lawyers that we see on TV, right? Sam Bernstein, whoever, right? What separate the lawyers we see on television from the lawyers that's in your yellow pages that we never heard about? What separate them two, right? Is it selling, right? Did one go to a better school than the other? Maybe, maybe not, right? Do one know more than the other? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows, right? But what separate a Sam Bernstein? And I use him because he's like nationwide, right? A lot of people have heard of him, right? What separate him from that guy that's in the yellow pages? Is Sam better than this guy that's in the yellow pages? Is he? Maybe, maybe not. Here's what it is. Sam has positioned himself in the marketplace, right? I done lived in Georgia, I done lived in Houston, in Texas. I done seen his ads on TV, right? So I'm like, wow, Sam is on Georgia and TV in Georgia, right? I didn't know its company was that wide. Some of you guys might heard of him, may not have heard of him, but let's just, for all intents and purposes of this video, let's separate the lawyer that you see on TV from the lawyer that might just be on on Google, on a Google search, or from the lawyer that just might be in the yellow pages. The lawyer that you see on TV put himself out there, right? He's built his brand. His face is on the marquee, his face is on the billboard, his face is on the side of the bus, he's on radio, right? He's at charity events, right? He's putting on his own little charity or seminar, workshop, right? He's putting himself out there, right? So he's branding himself in such a way that if you get hit by a car or you have an accident or hospital negligence or whatever the case is, you know what lawyer you're going to call because you see that lawyer all the time. You feel more connected to that lawyer. You feel like you trust that lawyer more because you see that lawyer in the masses, right? You see him in in the media. You see him everywhere, right? So you trust him. But the lawyer that you might see in the yellow pages, that doesn't mean that he's lesser than that lawyer that you see on the TV. They just have two different positions, right? They just have two different positions. The one that's in the yellow pages that no one has heard about, it doesn't mean that his firm isn't worth $1 million. It doesn't mean that he doesn't do great business. He doesn't have a great clientele. It just means that he has to continue to sell himself because he haven't built himself up in a way that people know who he is. And that goes back to my the Nike analysis that I just used. Nike don't necessarily have to sell shoes, right? They let you know when this shoe release date is, whether it's a Jordan, whether it's a Flight, whether it's a whatever, a G Nike, or well, in New Orleans they call it G Nikes, but it's an Air Force One, right? So they don't have to they just put the shoe out, and if the masses like it, then the masses go and buy it. right? They let you know the release date and this and that, and you go and get the shoe. But they don't really have to, oh my God, dropping my phone. They don't have to do really any massive marketing campaigns, right? Because you already know that you like Nikes, right? So that's why I try to get like my people that get on the coaching calls. Like the guy, I'm out here and I'm in this area now. We gonna do lunch today. Like I say, then I'll be here for the next few days, helping them with the coaching. We got hands-on coaching where we're gonna go door to door. We're gonna cover some phones. I'm gonna help him develop a script. He's part of my annual coaching program. So again, I agreed to come out. But like I say, I just received the email. Someone was asking me about the Jordan Belfort and Grant Cardone situation. Like I say, that's why I didn't put their names in the title of this video, because I really didn't want to drive the traffic based on that, because I know I wasn't specifically going to be talking about them. So I know I didn't want to really, what they call it, clickbait anybody. So, but to answer that question, I believe branding is more important than selling. Because when you brand yourself and people understand your brand, they accept your brand, they know who your brand who your brand is, what your brand stand for, then they're more compelled to do business with you and ongoing business with you, right? Let's take, for an example, let's take General Electric, right? So they do appliances, stoves, refrigerator, whatever, right? Washing machine, dryer, different type of thing. Is some people, they would not buy a Whirlpool, they would not buy another brand because they resonate with General Electric appliances, stoves, refrigerator, whatever it is, right? Microwave, whatever. So all of the stuff in their home or in their apartment, whatever the case is General Electric. Why? Because that's what they like. That's the brand that they identify with. They like that particular brand. So General Electric, I'm sure they have a marketing campaign. Most of these big conglomerate companies like a General Electric and Nike, a lot of times, man, they just utilize online marketing methods instead of the old-fashioned TV methods and radio methods and different things like that, because that costs a little bit more money when the word get out a lot faster through social media, right? They had the Popeyes and the, what's that, Chick-fil-A thing going on, right? That was really media based, social media based, right? So it wasn't a lot of money that kind of went into that campaign. So they made millions and millions of dollars, you know. And I think this was a crafted plan between both companies to do that, to be honest, because they both made a lot of money, right? People went and bought one chicken sandwich versus the other chicken sandwich, but they both were still making money, right? So no matter what chicken sandwich the person liked, both companies benefit from that particular little setup, right? But like I said, to get back to the selling versus the branding guides, I think branding is more important than having to sell, right? In the beginning, you got to sell, okay? Like some of the buildings out here, I walk in, people already know, whether they're my YouTube people, Facebook people, whether I was at a social event or something like that, or I'm part of a network meeting or club or whatever the case is. I'm all over the place. I'm everywhere, right? From the east to the west, the north to the south. No matter where I'm at in Detroit or Toledo or whatever the case is, I like to put myself out as the brand. So no matter what I offer, people will be attracted to that. Like I say, when I did Direct Auto Network and I was auto brokering, right, which I no longer do, I put my face on the card, on the postcard, the flyer, whatever the case is. I'm physically passing them out. I'm interacting with the people. You know, I'm down at the bus terminal. You know, hey, you want, hey, what up, Fabio? Hey, man, you my friend on Facebook, or I'm subscribed to you on YouTube or whatever the case is, right? So that's the thing. Like when you build you as the brand, it makes it much easier for those to deal with you. Now you have to be careful because you got haters too, right? So, but it makes it much easier for those people that like you and want to do business with you to deal with you, opposed to you always having to sell something. Everybody like to buy, nobody like to be sold to, right? So everybody like to buy, but nobody like to be sold to. So that's why I push putting your brand out. If you're good at one particular thing, drive that, right? And then kind of branch out. Like I always tell you guys. So if you're the master of window washing, and well, commercial is where I ultimately want to be. It's not a problem getting into the commercial. Just drill that window cleaning thing to the masses. So at least you're known for that. So whether you're a commercial cleaning business flop, or whether you win, or whether you're able to lead expansion in that area, people will always come to you for, at the very least, window cleaning, right? Because you built that part up, you built that business up. That's what people know you for. The $5 ride, why was it easier for me to sell that, right? Well, I built it up through social media, right? I used social media. I was the excuse me, I was the driver in the beginning, right? So it made it attractive, like, oh, I finally get to see Fabio, right? I get to see him, I want to see his hair, like it came to a point that it was a little bit too much for me, right? So eventually I started hiring drivers. So I hired drivers, right? People stopped using Lyft, which is what I wanted them to do. They stopped using Uber, which is what I wanted them to do. And they started subscribing to my service, right? So we had these weekly rates. They would pay this weekly rate, which was a lot different than Lyft and Uber, right? You pay per trip or whatever, however, round trip, whatever the case is. Me, I had that same, Jesus Christ, I had that same type of setup where you could pay a daily rate, right? I had like a day pass, right, which is different, and I had a weekly rate, right? So a lot of people use the weekly rate, and my school students, my college students, this and that, right? People that's going to and from dialysis treatment in the hospitals and different things like that, medical appointments and stuff like that, right? So I had guaranteed business, right? So that business grew very, very massively, very, very quickly, right? Because I kept putting myself out there. I started putting ads out there, put business card flyers out there, postcards out there. I was everywhere all the time, right? I hopped on the bus, right? I would park my car at somewhere, right? Some complex or some Walmart or whatever, and I'm stand at the bus line. I like interacting with the people, right? When you can touch the people, like people that come through my coaching, people that come through my coaching, I don't necessarily have to sell coaching. I let you know what deals we got on and what we could do for you, the paperwork, what we could do for you. But a lot of times the people that come to me, it's not because I really sold them. They already trust me. They already know that I give valuable information right here on my YouTube. So when they come for the coaching, they already know that they want to do it, right? I talk to them, give them the specifics, what they expect, certain things like that. But outside of that, it's like, okay, how do I sign up? What? I'm ready to go. Right? Because they already trust the information. They already trust the brand. They trust me as the individual. Just like those trust General Electric. They trust Nike. They trust Jay-Z. Right? They already trust the brand first. So when Jay-Z come out with this or that and this shoe or this cologne and this shirt or whatever the case is, he's doing this and that. People are already drawn to him because he's built his self-brand up. Right? He's built his self-brand up. So that's why I try to tell you guys with your cleaning business, your security company, your window cleaning, whatever your lawn care business. Because I got multiple people, a lot of people I should say, on this channel that watch me for just business stuff as a whole and not just pertaining to cleaning stuff, right? Build your brand. Once you build your branding, you solidify it. And the only way you can build it, people will say, well, Fabio, how do I build it? Well, you use everything. You market yourself out as like a presidential campaign. You put yourself everywhere. Donate some time, right? Put your cards out there, your flyers out there, right? If you can afford, a lot of people, I tell people on my coaching all the time, and I think it kind of scares them away because everybody is in the media personnel type of person. But the thing is, we are in the people business, the commercial cleaning business, the window cleaning business. Carpet, you're person, you're person to business to business. Excuse me. You got to talk to the people. You got to do the walkthroughs. So guys, get comfortable with yourself. Get comfortable with yourself and putting yourself out there in the masses, right? You don't have to be the Bill Gates, right? We know who Bill Gates is, what he stands for, this type of thing, but he's also have a situation because we know what Microsoft does, right? So we got Bill Gates, the brand, and then we have Microsoft. Sometimes people put him in the same boat. But Bill Gates he can come up with any type of business and offer it out, right? He can move out of tech completely and do something different. And because of the brand recognition, Bill Gates, the brand, we're more likely to do business with him. Bill Gates can come up with a whole phone system. He could be like better than Apple, come up, do something in telecom, right? In communications, right? And go up against the giant. Let's say Apple or Samsung that go up against the giants. Well, people trust him, right? So he's built that brand, that name recognition. The Bill Gates hits his name, right? So this have nothing to do with, let's say, Microsoft. But even though they might trust Microsoft products and services, they're more inclined to do business with Bill Gates in his telecommunications company or communications company because they already trust the brand. So hopefully I'm making sense, guys. So essentially what I'm saying is build up whatever niche market you want to use in carpet cleaning. I'll talk to people that do window cleaning, carpet cleaning, VCT floor care, residential cleaning, commercial cleaning, whatever the case is. Build that side up. Make a substantial amount of revenue, right? Generate a substantial amount of income, okay? And then branch out, go into something else. Don't try to be everything to everybody. Not in the very beginning, guys. Grow little by little. Okay, grow little by little. But that's why I feel like brand is more important than selling. Selling is what you got to do in the beginning. But when the smoke clear, you want to have a substantial brand that when you offer something and you put something out there in the marketplace, people value what you offer and they trust you as the individual, right? They trust you as the individual. They trust you as the brand. Okay, so some of you might say, well, Fabio, I'm not right. I understand the brand, but I don't want to be the personal brand. I want my entity to be a brand, more like a Geico. Okay, so you may not know who the CEOs and the CFOs and who owns Geico, the insurance company, but that little lizard resonate with you, right? So that's just how they decided to build the entity brand. Geico Insurance is an entity, right? It's not a personal brand, right? It's an entity or a business brand, right? So if that's where you want to be at with it, and you want to get your logo, whatever, you know, your little mascot, whatever the case is, you want to put that out there. If you got a mascot for your cleaning business, whatever that is, right? That's different, right? Most cleaning businesses don't have like a little mascot. So if you got a little mascot for your business, make sure that mascot is on everything. Okay, make sure that mascot is on everything. So when people see that mascot resonate with the people, and they already know that mascot belongs to you. Okay, I don't care how quirky it is, or how lame it is, or whatever the case is. If that's your mascot, that's your mascot. You put that mascot on every flyer, on every marketing piece, on your shirts, on your whatever, right? Paraphernalia, whatever the case is, because that mascot belongs to you. So when people see that mascot, you want it to resonate with the people that mascot belongs to you. Okay. Again, like I said, I can give you guys 1,000,001 situations. I'm on my way out of here right now. Like I said, I'm out in another city. I have a lunch meeting today with one of my coaching subscribers, one of the persons that pay for my coaching. So I came out to his area. He wanted to do lunch. I came in yesterday, so I'm out. We're gonna do lunch today, go over some specifics, talk about some certain things, and then tomorrow I'm gonna be out here for the next few days. Tomorrow we're gonna work on going door to door, right? I'm gonna show him how I do it. My ultimate goal is to try to help him close, or at least help him pick up a contract before I leave the city, right? And again, that was just part of my coaching. That's just something that I want to do because I like challenging myself for once, right? I'm not from this city. I'm not from this area. So for him to know what type of business he wants and that type of thing, it should be pretty fun. It should be pretty fun. I can't guarantee nothing, but I'm going to work as just as hard for him as I would for myself, right? So that's what it is. Hotel coffee is nasty, guys. But I need it. It's kind of nasty, but I need it. So that's what I'm out here for. Like I said, I'll be out here for a few days or so. Then I'll be leaving. But my ultimate goal is to try to help them get contracts, at least as many as I possibly can. So I'm just showing them the way more hands-on training. But that's all I really wanted to talk about this video, guys. Selling versus branding, what I think is more important. Like I say in the beginning, you might hear other people, they might have different perspectives on this. Some people might say, hey, selling is more important than branding. And that's okay. It's just a agree to disagree type of thing. You know, everybody have their perspective on it. But I just personally think that you come out better when you have a entity brand or a personal brand. people resonate with and identify with, it's easy for you in the marketplace because people already like and trust you, right? So it's easy for you to deal with people opposed to you having to go out and sell them your service. I'm steady selling because everybody don't know of Fabio Hart, right? So I'm steady selling, but I feel like I have an advantage in the marketplace, in my area, opposed to other people that's just starting up in Toledo or in Georgia, whatever the case is. I feel like I have a piece in the market feel like that I own pretty much, right? Because people they resonate with me, whether they see me at networking events or whatever the case, at YouTube or my Facebook or whatever the case is. And it's crazy because I'm not even the biggest on the internet, right? I'm not like the biggest guy on the internet, but I have my niche market that I drive, right? I pay attention to, my market. I drive it home and I position myself and put myself out as that brand, as that guy, that person, right? So like I say, man, in the beginning, you gotta sell. Your ultimate goal is to become that brand, or at least make your company that brand, whether it's a personal brand or an entity brand. That's why I love the Kardashians, and specifically Kim. I do like Kylie Jenner, right? Kylie can't do no wrong. Do your research on Kylie, guys. Kylie, you might not like her antics, you might not like her sexual paralysis on what she does on Instagram and all of that. You might not be attracted to all of the little quirky stuff that they do. But she's a very smart individual. She just sold stock. I think 51% of stock. She owned 49% of her company. She just sold 51%. You guys might have to do the research. But if I'm not mistaken, it's 51 for $600 million stake. She sold 51% stake in her company for $600 million, right? So, man, she's incredible. Kim the same way, but they're personal brands. Whatever they do, makeup and perfume and clothing and bikini lines and shoe lines or whatever the case they do, they stuff fly off the shelf. Why is that? Because people like the Kardashians. They like Kim. They like Kylie. Their personal brands resonate with the masses, resonate with millions, right? So they can do shoes, they can do wigs, they can do whatever, makeup and this and that, whatever, and people are gonna buy into that brand. They're gonna buy into that brand. It's easy for them to get, television shows. They can sell it to the networks easily, right? Because they've already created that brand for themselves, right? So again, man, I could go on and on about that. So put your brand out there. Once again, whether it's a personal brand or it's a entity brand or company brand, put your brand out there, guys. But you have to reinvest into yourself. I tell people that all the time. My guy that I'm about to do the lunch with, I'm going to be on his ass, right? Because I'm going to share the same information that I share with you guys. With him, I want him to focus. I mean, he's in a little town, little section. Especially my people in those little towns, I try to tell you guys all the time, you could dominate your town. I swear, the Benton Harbors, the Battle Creeks, right? These are in Michigan for those that don't know. Your Grand Rapids, right? These areas, they're not massively big, but you can do certain things in those areas as a window cleaner, as a commercial cleaning, as a residential cleaning company that nobody else is doing in the area. That's going to be your lane to drive, and you'll be able to make it work, right? Louisiana, Georgia, Nebraska, Alaska, Toronto, wherever. Like, they all have these little areas, little hit towns people never even heard about. They say, "Where's that?" You'd be like, "That's Ontario." It's like, "Oh, I never even." It's small population. Like, where's that? That's in Omaha. Or it's not Omaha, but it's in Nebraska, right? Omaha is the city, so it's in Nebraska. Oh, you're like, oh, okay, I never even heard of that little town, right? So for those of you guys that's in these little towns, right, if you get the word out, you'll be able to drive that town, right? Opposed to like a Chicago, a Detroit, a New Orleans, right? A Miami, like a New York, a big city where it's a lot of competition and stuff like that. Not saying that you can't get your brand going in those areas. It'll just be a little tough because there's a lot of competition, but you can still get your stake of the marketplace, Okay, I'm done ranting for now, guys. Again, this is my video on selling versus branding, what I feel is more important. And like I said, I came with this video due to the fact that a lot of people ask me about the Grant Cardone and Grant and the Wolf, Jordan Belfort. They asked me a lot about their interview and what I feel about the interview. Like I said, I didn't want to drive this particular video with Grant and Jordan, you know, give my reaction, so to speak, on that, because I like both of them, right? And I understand both of them. But if I had to pick which one I would prefer to do, which one would be more attractive to me, the branding part would be, right? Because I feel like it'll be easier for me to get what I want, my state, get what I want in the marketplace, being a brand, whether it's an entity or a personal brand, versus always having to sell. In the beginning, when people don't know who you are, of course you have to sell. And you're gonna, even as a brand, you're gonna continue to sell, but it makes it that much easier when people know who you are. I'm Fabio Hart. The only person that could ever stop you from starting up your dreams and making it to the top is you. Take care, guys.